Hello my bessies, welcome to this channel. It's your girl Susu here. If you are not subscribed yet, please do well to subscribe, support this channel, like this video, comment and share. Thank you.
Our Deputy Prime Minister Dr. Ngozi Orabueze wrote on her platform about 7 hours ago on X. And she wrote this because I don't want to begin to show their face on my platform because they don't deserve it. Most of you must have seen this video. So look at what our Deputy Prime Minister wrote. He said, psychosis is a mental disorder characterized by a disconnection from reality. Psychosis. A mental disorder characterized by disconnection from reality. Symptoms include delusions, hallucinations, talking incoherently, and agitation. The person is not aware of his or her behavior. Treatment include medication and therapy. This is what most of them are suffering from. The Deputy Prime Minister have been able to give them a free diagnosis and also treatment. Free of charge. This is what most of the people who you see today jumping right and left, claiming they are fighting for Biafra or for freedom. This is what they are suffering for. But the sad thing that they don't know about it. But as kind as our Deputy Prime Minister is, she has been able to, free of charge, give them the lesson, diagnose them, and give them the treatment. I believe that most of them must have seen this treatment and this prescription. They must have seen this diagnosis. And for some of them that still have some common sense, they can apply it and use it for themselves. And I just hope that they will be delivered. But as for their repentance and forgiveness, Chukwu Okike Abiama will decide. It is so sad. And what you see our Deputy Prime Minister said is exactly what some of them are suffering from. A lot of them are in delusion, serious delusion. They are deluded. They don't even know what they are doing. They don't know what they see. Some of them are hallucinating. Hallucination. They just wake up and imagine something. They begin to imagine things in their mind and begin to believe it. They create something in their mind and they believe it, and they just feel that everybody is following them. That people will just buy it. That is what they are suffering from. Talking incoherently. They talk anytime. They can talk one thing today, tomorrow they say another thing. That is what most of them come. Today they will come and they will pray. After they pray, the next day they pray they are pastor. The next day they are native doctor. The next day they are using egg. The next one they are using Bible. The next one they are using. This is incoherently, talking incoherently. And this is what you see in their attitude. Every time they are agitated, in every little thing you see them, they are agitated. When you make a speech, even when it doesn't concern them, when you make a speech for the progress of the restoration of Biafra, when you try to promote Biafra before the whole world, when you want to speak for Biafra, they get agitated. You are not talking about them. You are talking about our collective interest to promote Biafra, to legitimize Biafran government. They get agitated. This is their behavior. And I want you to take time and discover those that have this behavior. Take time, find those that have this behavior. You will see them. They are not difficult to find. Those who are deluded. When you watch their video, you see the way they behave. You see, no, they are living in delusion. When they talk, you see that they are hallucinating. When they talk, you see incoherently. That's how they talk. So see incoherency in their talk. You will know them, identify them, and stay away from them. As for them, this is a free treatment. a free treatment that our Deputy Prime Minister, the COS, Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, have given them. Free. They should go for medication. Go and seek for medication. And also go for therapy. If they want us to go further to prescribe drugs for them, we can do that. But let them first of all accept what is wrong with them and know that there is treatment for their problem. When they accept that, then we can now move from there. So, my fellow Biafrans, as the Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, is moving forward in expanding Biafra and showing us the way, uniting the Biafran people together to forge ahead into victory, they are agitated. They don't want, just like the Janjaweed, when they see that Biafrans are getting united, they began to push all the buttons they have. Even though their buttons are not effective, they began to push all buttons, begin to touch all manner of things in order to distract what the Biafrans are doing. So many of you who are very, very conversant and constant online must have seen the letter writers. They have written another letter. They have brought another note to confuse themselves. And each time they bring those right up, it's always destroyed them. Because except for those who are not following this struggle from day one, except for those who are not hardcore followers of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Mazi Simon Ekpa, those are the people that will begin to think, oh, maybe or maybe not. But nobody that follows the events of Biafra will see all those letters they are circulating and pay attention to it. I think we are going to take time to read some of those letters. Most of you must have seen it because it is in the public. And this thing, they are repeating the same thing. Remember, repeating the same thing. During the time of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that was how the DOS was always forming letter. After the first message came, which is the original message, the very first message is the original message. It came. The DOS refused to obey that message. Allow Mazi Simon Ekpa Njoko to broadcast on Radio Biafra and talk to Biafran people. That instruction was passed. The very first message that was delivered. Allow Mazi Simon Ekpa to take charge and continue to speak Biafrans until I come back. That was the very first message that was delivered from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and it was the accurate message. And when that message came, the devil now entered the people who are jealous, who are angry, who have their own personal motive and intentions, and they began to wage their war. The White lawyer started his own magic. The DOS started every one of them began to come out from their hiding places, and they came together and grouped and started their war against Mazi Simon Ekpa. After the first original message, after that message, every other thing that was coming behind was always corrupted to suit their evil agenda. Everything that came was corrupted to suit their evil agenda until Mazi Simon Ekpa Njoko, the Prime Minister, defeated them through the support of all the Biafrans who opened their eyes, and we were watching and reading between the lines. History have repeated itself again. In this case, the very first message that came from Mazi Simon Ekpa, after he was taken away from our midst, was to appoint his surrogate to take charge until he's come. Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, take charge until I come back. It was a very clear message. Not corrupted, uninterrupted. And the message was delivered. When the message came, all hell broke loose. Now they went back and begin to concoct and dilute other messages that are coming. They went ahead and began to write letter, just like the DOC wrote letter. They wrote letter, they say we should stop sit at home, different kinds of letters. Now they are writing theirs. They just released a new letter. They claim that somebody somewhere who claimed to be the lawyer of Mazi Simon Ekpa gave them the letter to publish, and they publish it. Some of these clowns think they are smart, but they are not. Because when you are not standing on the truth, you always continue to make mistake. When you are not standing on the truth, you will continue to make mistake. Every step you take, you make a mistake. Because you are not standing on the truth. And I would like us to go further and read those letters that these people were parading. Let me see. In one of those, and for some of you that are visiting their platform, there is one thing that happened lately in their platform. They brought out, I think they brought out, they wrote a text on their platform, and they said that their criminal lobbies can no longer be able to use his Twitter handle, that they want to hack his Twitter handle, and because of that he cannot post, because he has not been posting for days now. He's not posting, and they say henceforth that he will be posting through their own handle, that the criminal lobbies will be posting through their own criminal handles. Who cares? They are done. We are done with them, and we are done. But we know what transpired there. We know what transpired. If your Twitter handle had a problem, you open another Twitter or you resolve it. Announcing to Biafrans that your lobbies, your criminal lobbies, will not be posting through your handle. Make no sense for us. We don't care about that. It makes no sense, even though we know what transpired. That was what they wrote before. Then we began to see this letter they released. And I would like to read the letter so that every one of us will follow up and know what is happening. Because we cannot, there are certain things we don't have to keep silent. If certain things come out, we have to address it. For those that doesn't have the mind to digest things, we will help them to digest it. That is why we bring out informations and we show you. This is a letter that was wrote. You see their letter-headed line. It said it's their lawyer. And they claim that the lawyer is the lawyer of Mazi Simon Ekpa. I think it is the same woman they dragged to the same woman they brought to their live program. They are still dragging her along. They are still using her to blackmail themselves from pushing their idiotic agenda that doesn't make any sense. And we are going to read this letter that was given to them together so that we can understand what these idiots are doing and how idiotic they are. They will continue to make this their mistake in every move they make. All we have to do is to sit and watch them destroy themselves, because the beginning and the end have already started, and they have seen it. Now they have lost out on the propaganda of the men on the ground. They know that the propaganda of the men on the ground does not work. The threats they are threatening the men on the ground cannot even work anymore. Now they are coming back again to their lawyer and using the write-ups. Letter doesn't move us. When you write this one, write it. Just first of all, they wrote and they said the first one they wrote before was the lobbies. Somebody, a law firm that Mazi Simon came to life and told us that Aman Dabiri has been placed to advise the government on US policy and also help in the relationship and recognition of Biafra in the United States. That is the sole job of Aman Dabiri. That is why that very law firm was contacted to advise the government on US Biafra relationship. Strictly on that. That is the assignment. Spelled out. Mazi Simon Ekpa talked about, he said it himself. Their assignment is not to come and control the structure of Biafra. Not to come and stand as the lawyer of the Biafran people. No. The United States of Biafra already had our lawyer. We had our lawyer. When we were in Brigi, we had our lawyer. And when we have moved, stepped from Brigi to the United States of Biafra, the lawyer was aware. And the lawyer, Dr. Levy, is still very much around with us. He has appeared in so many programs. He has given advices and continue to give advices. Most of the documents today that are being sent to countries for recognition are written and endorsed by him. A lawyer. That is for the United States of Biafra. But this bunch of clowns who think they are dealing with people that doesn't have brain, they went out and begin to issue a threat. And they thought that maybe when the deputy prime minister says that, oh, she will run away. Just like they are using hidden numbers to call her and say they are FBI. They will hide under a secret number and call her FBI. As they're making their call, she went further to go to FBI and make a report against Nigerian government, against Trubu, against Musa, and against Bianca Ono. And today you can see the result of all those reports coming out. But still, these idiots don't learn their lesson. They think that all this nonsense is going to go us. This is the letter they said they brought from that woman who they are projecting as the lawyer of Mazi Simon Ekpa. Look at what the woman wrote for them. Or they wrote and maybe the woman gave them the letter heading to write and they wrote it. And I'm going to read so that we can follow up and understand. He said, to the legitimate governing body of the United States of Biafra, Biafra Republic Government in Exile, Brigi, and all Biafran beloved brothers and sisters. He said, to the legitimate body, if this woman knows anything about Biafra, she cannot write this because we have only one United States of Biafra, which is legitimate. That legitimate body was the body that every human being saw on the 29th of November. On the 29th of November, everybody was, including these idiots and these clowns that are running away, they were there. Biafra, the United States of Biafra was declared. Was declared openly. It was declared. And Biafrans celebrated and endorsed it. And this, whoever wrote this is just talking about to the legitimate governing body of the United States of Biafra. And then he came on down and wrote Biafra Republic Government in Exile, Brigi, and all Biafran beloved brothers and sisters. And we went further. He said, Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa's statement. Say Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa's statement. To begin this direct message from His Excellency Obong Simon Ekpa Njoko, my brother, when did our Prime Minister begin to answer Obong? I want everyone to tell me which year did Mazi Simon Ekpa decide to add Obong to his name? Have you ever seen any documents anywhere or any time Mazi Simon Ekpa addressed himself as Obong? As far as I know, and all of us know, Mazi Simon Ekpa is a Biafran, an Igbo Biafran for that matter. And Obong is not one of his titles. It's not one of his titles. Now, that very introduction speaks volume. You know what Obong is, and you know where that language is coming from. That language you saw there, Obong Simon Ekpa Njoko, it speaks volume. And that very title alone destroys everything they are going to write in this very paper. Everything that is written in this letter, this very title renders everything irrelevant. You know, that is how Chukwu Okabem always expose them. when he wants to expose them, they will make that simple mistake and they will never see it until he destroys them. You can imagine what somebody is writing. To begin this direct message from His Excellency, Obong Simon Ekpa Njoko. Of course, when you hear this Obong, you know who wrote this letter. Now you understand who wrote the letter and send it to the person that typed it. Now you understand who wrote the letter. And we continue to read. He said, I first clarify my position as his authorized spokesperson. The lady said that she is the only authorized spokesperson. Authorized spokesperson. I work as his long-time civil lawyer under the legislation and ethics concern, and our relationship enjoys attorney-client privilege with large possibility to communicate orally, freely in a specially organized and ensured safe negotiating space. Only the two of us present. Let's listen. He is overjoyed that the restoration of independence of his holy home country, Biafra, was declared in his hometown, Lati. Here, the writer of this letter said that our Prime Minister is overjoyed and overwhelmed. He is happy that Biafra has been declared in his hometown, Lati. He is happy that it was done. However, there are recent events that makes him not only deeply worried, but totally disappointed. Okay? He is very angry that some certain persons and artificially created entities under them have been directly disobeying his clear order and commands. The first command disobeyed was his clear and simple instruction for everybody to fall back to the original structure of Biafra Republic Government in Exile. Are you listening? Meaning, its original form and composition. In the beginning, Prime Minister asked Madam Dr. Ngozi Orabueze as his chief of staff to take care of the daily errand on. Just be following. He said in the beginning, our COS was the one that was told to take charge. Just hold on. Yeah, take care of daily activities on his behalf while he is away. Nothing more, nothing less. Not to dissolve or to create. You see, that very part of the message now was the very first message that Mazi Simon Ekpa sent, where he told Dr. Ngozi Orabueze to be his surrogate. And that is the original message that was gotten. And now they have gone ahead to begin to corrupt that message. Just like it happened in the time of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The very first message Mazi Nnamdi Kanu sent was Mazi Simon Ekpa to take charge. Go to Radio Biafra. Begin to speak to Biafra, direct affairs until I come. And they corrupted it and begin to attach so many other things to it, asking Mazi Simon Ekpa to deliver his platform, asking Mazi Simon Ekpa to swear an oath, asking Mazi Simon Ekpa to do this and do that. And they corrupted it, and they went ahead to begin to write so many letters coming. Fake. The same thing is repeating itself. The very first part that was written when Mazi Simon Ekpa told them that Dr. Ngozi Orabueze will be his surrogate, none of these idiots obeyed it. Including the people that are writing this letter, the people that wrote it, they refused to obey that instruction. The only people that disobeyed the order of our Prime Minister was these idiots. In one of our cabinet meetings, one of them came in and said that he would never, ever be loyal to Dr. Ngozi Orabueze. One of these idiots said it in a cabinet meeting. Some of the voice message that we are sending in the group of the cabinet is something that you don't even, no human being need to hear in their ear. the kind of insult they were rendering on her. That was after that very first order came. All of them, all hell break loose. None of them obeyed that order. That appointment that was given to Dr. Ngozi Orabueze to run errand for Mazi Simon Ekpa, you can continue to interpret it and try to bend it and shoot it the way you can use to twist it. The order was so straight. Surrogate, take charge until I come. And for the only reason Mazi Simon Ekpa was able to tell her to teach her is because she knows much more than any other person knows about the structure of the government of the United States of Biafra. She has much more information than every other person. She might not know everything, but she has much information than any other person when it comes to the structure on what is to be done, on how it to be done. But none of them obey this instruction. That was the original message. And now let us go to the other part of the message. You now see how they are forming their criminality. Now you go to the other paragraph. Let us read the other paragraph. In the other paragraph, he says, his detention, having prolonged for more than originally expected, led to his second instruction. This is where now they came. This is where now they came to corrupt the message, just like the DOS did. In this the one they call the second instruction, that is where they began to corrupt the message. After they have seen the first one, all hell break loose, and they began to attach so many things to it. Look at the second instruction as they wrote on their own word. It's a second instruction, which was to elect a real acting prime minister. He said that instruction of Mazi was to elect a real acting prime minister for the brigade. The outcome of the vote, which Mazi Simon fully support, was, and when you say elect, who is the person that is supposed to conduct the election? That is the question you ask this woman. This is somebody who claims to be a lawyer. You claim to be a lawyer, yet you know nothing. If maybe I don't think she's the one that wrote it. Because what he said, his detention, having prolonged for more than originally expected, led to his second instruction. Now look at the second instruction, which was to elect a real acting prime minister for the brigade. Even if it were to elect, even if this message was true, who is the one that has the right to conduct this election? The outcome of the vote, which vote are you talking about? Which vote? Who conducted? How? Who has the authority to conduct such vote? And she jumped that and began to say the outcome of the vote, which Mazi Simon fully support, was that Mr. Ogenkere that I don't know where he came about. Number one, who was supposed to conduct that very election? Who has the authority to conduct the election? Judging from the very first message that was sent, and somebody was made a surrogate to guide and protect and deliver everything according to how it to be, they disobeyed. And they went ahead now. They said they brought second instruction, and the instruction was to elect a acting prime minister. And now, in that election and in that message, they now run away from the very first instruction was given, and now they began to go their separate ways to do their own thing the way they deem fit. And I ask, who we are supposed to conduct this election to make it legitimate, or to make it acceptable, or to make Mazi Simon Ekpa back it? And to whom was that message directed to? And she went ahead to reveal their plans, and she went ahead and said, which she fully support, was that Mr. Ogenkere, in addition to being the finance minister of Brigade, that Ogenkere should be the finance minister, at the same time being the deputy prime minister. And this person they are calling his name is somebody we don't know his identity. Nobody knows his identity. We don't know even his qualification. We do not know his identity. We don't know his qualification. We don't know his experience in life. And then Mazi Simon Ekpa will be out there and to give instruction or direct and support such a person to have somebody that have a questionable character who was not even able to give account while Mazi Simon Ekpa was around. And they say should start, and she went ahead to write, say should start his work as an acting prime minister with the full powers of the office, including leading and representing the interest of the United States of Biafra. Look at how confused they are. Incoherent, just as our Prime Minister said. Just as our Deputy Prime Minister said, incoherent. Are you now, are they talking about bringing? I don't know. These people are so confused. Here you are talking about bringing. You say they say you should keep bringing. And now you say that the person you are choosing is going to be representing the interests of the United States of Biafra. I don't know where that is coming from. You are here projecting that they say that you should hold the structure of bringing and remain on bringing. And at the same time, you say, including representing the interests of the United States of Biafra. Which United States of Biafra are you going to represent? Which one? Which one? Which one? Is it the same one that was declared, or there's another one you're talking about? When you don't even acknowledge the declaration, you don't even support it, you don't even acknowledge it, you condemn it completely, and you say that they should go back to the old structure and stay on that bridge. At the same time, you are still telling the people to migrate. That is why I first of all read that very prescription that our Prime Minister, our Deputy Prime Minister gave. That prescription is very, very heavy. That prescription is very heavy, and they should try and get it. It is free. Sometimes you don't get such things free, but she gave them that prescription free. And maybe when they are watching programs and comments of people, they will now understand that they have to go for treatment. They need to. Both first and second command were sadly, evidently disobeyed by Dr. Ngozi Orabueze. Now you see. Now you see. Okay, now you see. You say both first and second command were sadly, evidently disobeyed by Dr. Ngozi Orabueze. The first command was that Dr. Ngozi Orabueze should be the surrogate. That was the first that was ordered. The first information that came is that Dr. Ngozi Orabueze should be the surrogate, standing for Mazi Simon Ekpa until he joins us. That was the first. And Dr. Ngozi Orabueze obeyed and followed it immediately. She followed up immediately. The only people who refuse to fall in line are these fallen angels. And it is clear. But here in the write-up, the woman who claimed to be the lawyer who they are writing on her behalf said that both first and the second command were suddenly, evidently disobeyed, and begin to mention Dr. Ngozi Orabueze. And you and I know that the only people that disobeyed that instruction, both the first and even if I thought there was any second at all. Now let us focus on the first, which I'm very sure of, about the surrogate. The very first one, that she should be the surrogate. They disobeyed it, and none of them accepted that she is the surrogate of Mazi Simon Ekpa. Then how would somebody who claimed to be a lawyer be writing here in the write-up, trying to say that it is Dr. Ngozi Orabueze who never obeyed that? What it means is that Dr. Ngozi Orabueze refused to be the surrogate of Mazi Simon Ekpa. Dr. Ngozi Orabueze refused to represent Mazi Simon Ekpa. That is what it means. That Dr. Ngozi Orabueze refused to guide the Biafrans until Mazi Simon Ekpa. That is what this message is implying. Which every one of us know that is a lie. A lie from the pit of hell. And not only being disobedient, did she go forward and created her own shadow cabinet with no permission, authorization, and legitimization of the Briggy and Mazi Simon Ekpa. These are a bunch of idiots and clowns. The Briggy you are talking about, every one of us have seen a video that was released from the cabinet meeting, which Dr. Ngozi Orabueze was chairing. And in that meeting, one of them came in after rendering insult and abuse, and he went away. He left. So I don't know where these people think that they can just come and write anything and then people believe. Then he went ahead to say, the rest of Dr. Orabueze's activity do not even earn the space to be mentioned here. To be mentioned here. He said, the rest of Dr. Orabueze's activity do not even earn the space to be mentioned here, since all actions in it, including so-called dissolving of the Brigade and her enacting pretense and reckless bills, such as the right to carrying firearms, using her misguided group and some astray-led persons, including Mr. Uche Obi. are so clearly against Mazi Simon Ekpa will. You see this bunch of clowns, that Mazi Simon Ekpa is against self-defense. That is what they are telling us. What this letter is saying here is that Mazi Simon Ekpa is against self-defense. How can any human being believe that Mazi Simon Ekpa Njoko that we know is against self-defense? How can any Biafra, you even in your dream, even in your wildest dream, how can you ever believe that Mazi Simon Ekpa is against self-defense? How can anybody imagine that? Some of this nonsense they are talking here, these are things that Mazi Simon Ekpa confirmed on video. And I have played some of the videos on my beginning of the program. I play it on my program. That was one of my programs I play here, where Mazi Simon Ekpa said that self-defense is the alternative. Even Mazi Nandekano promoted self-defense. And today, look at what they are writing. Then the government, as we are in the government, legitimizing it and inducting it and making it, passing it as law, that we must defend ourselves, become a crime. And now they are saying clearly that Mazi Simon Ekpa does not support self-defense. The Mazi Simon Ekpa believes that every right-thinking individual should recognize these activities as illegitimate, dangerous, and destructive to the great cause of internationally recognized, respected, and independent United States of Biafra. These are a bunch of idiots. Even the person that, I don't know why this woman is subjecting herself to mockery, allowing them to use her letter heading to write. At least we know who wrote it. You saw Obong, the idiot that addressed Mazi Simon Ekpa as Obong, which we don't know. You know, these people are very fond of using fake names. They are very fond of using fake names. Already, that name Obong there has made these very documents irrelevant. That name Obong has made the document. We don't know who they are talking about. Maybe they have created their own Simon Ekpa, their own imaginary Simon Ekpa. They can create their own and go ahead with it. He went ahead to say, Mazi Ekpa feels deep sadness, realizing the havoc the action described above have already created, not speaking of the bad reputation caused by constant internet posting by Dr. Ngozi Orabueze in the guise of using on behalf of the Prime Minister in her quest for fame and power. The only people that we know that have the quest for fame and power are this bunch of clowns. Every one of them know. And when you go and see the post of our Deputy Prime Minister, every single post she has made there is to promote Biafra. Every single post you see in her platform is to promote Biafra and expose the atrocities of Nigeria against Biafra. How is that against the struggle? How is posting information against Nigeria, revealing the secret, revealing the atrocity of Nigeria, which Mazi Simon Ekpa did to the highest level? Dr. Ngozi Orabueze is not even posting anything. Mazi Simon Ekpa did the posting to the highest level. And look at some idiot coming today to try to concoct one thing. And I don't know what made them think that Biafrans will just read it and just digest it and take it in and run home with it. I don't know where they get this belief from. I don't know what is really empowering them to think that the Biafrans will just come, read this thing, take it and run. It is sad. It is sad. It is sad and shameful. In her quest for fame and power, she blackpaints her fellow countrymen. Look at it. She blackpaints her fellow countrymen and women who are working to the great cause of Biafra. And ask me, remove your jealousy, remove your envy. Sincerely speaking, who are the ones blackmailing and blackpainting people? I have never seen any video where Dr. Ngozi Orabueze did any video to project them as something. But you can see many videos where these idiots have cartooned. They cartooned our Deputy Prime Minister. They wrote nonsense on her name. They marked something on her face. And they do so many things. They did so many things. The videos are still online. And this clown is writing this, thinking that Biafrans will see this. And now this, she makes false statements and broadcasts using her illegitimate group that is not an authoritative organ of Biafra. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is sad. This is sad. This is really, really sad. I never believed that these people can descend this low. And that is why I say it is very bad for you to go. That sometimes when you go, there's a level you go in your corruption and destruction, you will never come back again. Your soul will be sealed with iron that you can never come again. When especially deceiving Biafrans, when you go into deception to deceive Biafrans, your situation will be worse than that of Judas. Even when you try to repent, you cannot. You will not have the opportunity to be alive and receive the forgiveness from the people. You won't. That is the level they are going now. I continue to read. It says, Mazi Simon Ekpa maintains that his direct command is for Dr. Orabueze to fully stay away from any publicity, including social media. He is also asking Biafrans to know the following. That Dr. Ngozi Orabueze should be out of social media. In your dreams. He said that Biafrans should know the following. That Mr. Ogenkere is the acting prime minister with his full support, and Biafra must give him support. This is arrant nonsense. We don't know who is Ogenkere. Ogenkere is nobody. There is nobody called Ogenkere that we know now. If there is somebody that is called Ogenkere, the person should come out and tell us and give us his birth certificate, and we will see the birth certificate and see what is written there, and then we confirm the name that is there and know that he's a human being. As far as I know, nobody owns this name. That is why I don't mention this name. I'm mentioning this name now because of the letter I'm reading. Apart from this thing I'm reading, I don't mention the name because such name doesn't exist anywhere. It doesn't exist. Some people say it's a nickname. Some people say it's somebody's name. Some people say it's one Elijah, whatever's name. So I think Mazi Simon Ekpa, our prime minister, cannot descend so low to begin to associate himself with somebody, such an invisible person. No, we have gone past that stage. We are in a time where we have to know the people we are dealing with, and we deal with humans, not spirits. As far as I know, there is nobody called Ogenkere. So that very part doesn't exist. That the Briggy is the only legitimate government that will liberate the United States of Biafra and get recognition for Biafra using the structure the Prime Minister already put in place, including the lobby and legal representation. You see the mad people. You see what we say? That Briggy is the only legitimate government that will liberate the United States of Biafra. These people are very stupid. These people are very stupid. The United States of Biafra that have already been declared. Is it the same United States of Biafra that have been declared already? That you yourself attended the declaration. All of you attended the declaration. Is it the one you are talking about? Is it the same one that Mazi will tell us that after the declaration, we go ahead and pursue recognition and that the government will be dissolved? I didn't say it. It is not all of us that forged it. Mazi will say it in his own word. He said it. He said it. You don't come out of your young hide somewhere begin to write things that doesn't make sense. Everything that's written here, it doesn't make sense. You see? He said that Dr. Orabueze and also must stop deceiving and confusing Biafrans by using his name and stop impersonating his person in any way. This one is just writing like the brothers of Mazi Nandikan. That was how they were writing to Mazi Simon Ekpa. They threatened to take Mazi Simon Ekpa to court to stop using the name of Mazi Nandikan. Exactly the same thing they were doing to Mazi Simon Ekpa. That's what they're doing to Ngozi Orabueze. But unfortunately, these ones don't even have any level. Number one, they are not even officials in the United States of Biafra. You are not even brother to Mazi Simon Ekpa. You are not anywhere directly related to Mazi Simon Ekpa. So you don't even have any right to begin to write or this one or say that somebody should not use his name or somebody should not talk about. We are talking about our prime minister, the prime minister of the United States of Biafra. Our prime minister, he is a public official, and every Biafran has the right to use his name and picture as they like. Every Biafran has the right to use his name and picture. He is a public official. He is our prime minister. This is exactly what the brothers of Mazi Nandikan did when they wrote to Mazi Simon Ekpa. You saw it. Canon Takano was saying, "Oh, don't use the name of Mazi Simon Ekpa. Don't use his picture. Oh, sue him. Do this one." And they saw how it ended. And today they are repeating the same style, the same thing. These are a bunch of idiots. That Mr. Uche Obi must understand that so far he has betrayed his trust. He must stop henceforth enabling the activity of Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, including using letterheading bearing the Prime Minister's name and office. The Prime Minister believes that all Dr. Orabueze and Mr. Uche Obi have done endangers Biafra and set the Briggy agenda backward. These are a bunch of clans. This Uche Obi that is being placed, this Mr. Uche Obi, Mr. Uche Obi is a right-hand man of Mazi Simon Ekpa, and he lives in Finland. This is one of the key things that every Biafra must know. This Uche Obi lives in Finland, and he's somebody who is very close to Mazi Simon Ekpa. The very first time Mazi Simon Ekpa was called in for questioning, when we were worried, everybody was worried and shouting and shouting. When Mazi Simon Ekpa came back from that very questioning, he told us that we should not get worried when he doesn't speak until we hear from this Uche Obi. That is to show you how far Mazi Simon Ekpa trusts Uche Obi. That until we hear from Uche Obi, we should not begin to shout that he was kidnapped or whatever. That until we hear from him, whatever statement we hear from Uche Obi, we should follow it and take action. That was a direct instruction which Mazi Simon Ekpa gave after he came out from the first time he called question. I didn't say somebody told me. I was in the meeting where Mazi Simon Ekpa was speaking and saying, do not get worried when you don't hear from me. Make sure you hear from Uche Obi. Then he was the European rep. If you hear from European rep, whatever he says, then you will know if I have a problem or not. And this man, Uche Obi, is in Finland. Do you think there is a serious situation, a serious message, or something that Mazi Simon wants to deliver, and he cannot invite Uche Obi or direct somebody to go and meet Uche Obi and speak with him? This person is in Finland. Or he cannot put a request to speak to this Uche Obi. This Uche Obi, he is in Finland, and a top official of United States of Biafra was a top official of Briggy. A very top official, a senior official, and he is living in Finland. And this man is not in line with all this their idiocy. Now they dragged him into the issue. They say that he has betrayed his trust, that he has betrayed the trust of Mazi Simon Ekpa. Now you understand that this is a well-trusted, the trusted person that Mazi Simon Ekpa have among the Biafrans in Finland. And they confirmed it here. By using this word, they say he has betrayed his trust. This man is with Dr. Ngozi Orabueze and supports everything the United States of Biafra is doing today. He is, I think he's in charge of the foreign affairs today. He's in charge of the foreign affairs, no longer the European Union. He's in charge of the foreign affairs. And this man is living in Finland. That is why when I see some of them who are joining, oh, what is happening to Mazi Simon Ekpa? They begin to guess, oh, do this, call where? A senior officer or a senior official of United States of Biafra is in Finland, lives in Finland, well connected also. A right-hand of man of Mazi Simon Ekpa when it comes to the issue of this very struggle. He's living in Finland. Why don't you ask yourself, what has this man said? Where is he? Why is he staying on board, on course with Dr. Ngozi Orabueze? And they have tried everything to confuse him. Initially, the first time they tried to hijack the man, they tried, including traveling to Finland. They sent that their invisible man, that one that has double name, to go and meet him. And he went there, he was not able to convince him. Just like Martin Nanakana said, there are people who are unbribable. There are Biafrans who are unbribable. Not one, not two. Forget about when they say Biafrans love money. There are Biafrans you cannot buy with money. There are many Biafrans you cannot buy with the money, no matter how much you have. And I bet you Uche is falling into that category. Because from the day one, they went after him. They tried to drag him to their angle to fight against the United States of Biafra under the command of our Deputy Prime Minister, but they didn't succeed. Now even if you don't believe what I'm saying, for them to bring this very thing they wrote here, he has betrayed his trust. That Uche has betrayed the trust of the Prime Minister. You will now understand that this is a trusted man. This is somebody that the Prime Minister trusts so much. And he believes in him. And with all this, their letter writing and propaganda and message, have you ever had Uche come and say anything? Have you ever had him coming to drag them or talk to them or shout on them or begin to follow them and do all this their social media saga? There are people who have dignity. There are people who are disciplined. There are people who knows why they were born and what they are called to do. And they are doing it. He said, lastly, I am very aware that Dr. Orabueze had tapped all my discussion with her. The woman is still writing. They are writing on behalf of the woman. Said, lastly, I am very aware that Dr. Orabueze has tapped all my discussion with her. But I am sure that clever and wise Biafrans sure understand that my speaking with her was to deliver instruction from the Prime Minister. No other reason. Using and posting my words, even cutting and joining them to suit her selfish interests, shows that she confesses my position of being the PM's attorney and spokeswoman, even though she refuses to follow the command of the PM. She never indicted. Why are you scared of her bringing your words out? Even she never did. You were the person that dragged yourself out, and she brought out exactly what you said. And it's on video. This very first order you are talking about now, that Mazi Samanega said that she should be the surrogate, she should keep the mandate. It's a simple thing. You confirmed it here, the first instruction. So she had not bring anything to indict you. Even if maybe there is something you have said that you are scared she's going to bring out. Our Deputy Prime Minister is a tactician. She will bring it out at the right time. You're already afraid. Maybe there is something, I suspect there is something you must have told her that you are scared. You are praying to God that it will not come out. Don't worry. When the time comes, it's going to come out. Don't worry. Don't be too fast. Don't be too fast. Don't be too fast. When the time comes, she's going to bring it out. She's not that type that runs ahead of time. No. She allowed Chukwu Okokayama to lead and she follows. So don't be afraid. Not now. Now, this message is written only in unalterable form and delivered to the publicized only by the person chosen by Prime Minister Ekpa. That this message was authorized to be publicized only by the person chosen by Prime Minister Mazi Ekpa. Mr. Emmanuel Maduabum, on behalf of the acting Prime Minister. Mr. Ogechunkere. You see how idiotic these people are. You see how idiotic these people are. Let's see. I think the last part of the letter. Yeah, that's the final part of the letter. And he came here. He says, date, place of signature, Lati, 14th of February 2025. This was yesterday. 14th, yesterday. Lati, he said, date, place, and signature. Lati